first period. Norwich in their home white uniforms with the blue and red trim, and we are underway in this new calendar year. Let's take a look at the starting goaltenders. In goal for Norwich, Andrew Yoakum getting the call. He comes in with a personal record of 0-7-1, a goals against average of 4.65, a save percentage of 88.1. Justin Bender mining the cage for the Sharks. That's only his third game of the year. He has a record of 2-0, a goals against average of 1.50, a save percentage of 92.5, and he comes up with an early save for the Sharks. Here's Zembrzycki coming back. Gets Moran down to the ice. Moran, however, able to block that with his backside. Pass through center ice, off the stick of Harwell, picked up by Dylan Harbour. The Alaskan native gives it along for Tyler Fisher, and Fisher gets it as far as the red line. Sachs managed to trip up Fitzpatrick, and that drew Long Beach offside. Faceoff will come out into the neutral zone. Just 51 seconds gone by here. As mentioned, the Sea Captains with Blaine. Nice way to wrap up the 2021 calendar year. And on a personal note, I'd like to thank everybody who came on up and introduced themselves on the Norwich side of things. Always nice to meet the folks who are actually listening to these games. It's your encouragement and your support means the world to me. It means the world to this team as well. So thank you to everybody who said hello. Sea Captains get the puck down into the Long Beach zone. Just as quickly, it's sent back the other way. Delayed icing coming up. No, waved off at the last moment as Jameson Bain got to it in time. And so Schemmel sends one off the glass. This will be icing against Norwich. And there's the whistle. So faceoff will come back on down into the Sea Captains' end. A new face on the ice for Norwich in this game. And, well, here's the thing. When you already have two Rangers on the team, why not make it a third? Killian Ranger making his NA3HL debut. Younger brother of Ethan. He's an 0-2 from Cromwell, Connecticut. Finished up his high school season with the Newington Co-op program. Also making his debut for the Sea Captains in this game is Trumbull native and Notre Dame of Fairfield alumni Brian Essing. He is an 0-3 player. And he actually got the start. Essing wearing number 19 today. And Killian Ranger wearing number 12. Sharp angle attempt never made its way on through. Schemmel gets in the way of the shot off the stick of Ryu Yamamoto. Yamamoto gives back to Gilbert at the point. D to D they go. A shot hits off a player in front. Swung towards the front of the net. Blocked by Moran onto the stick of Ranger. And sent all the way down by Harwell. Bender nearly blew a tire going over the goal line. Trying to force it up the walls, Kyle Gilbert. Sent back the other way by Aiden Bain. Four players battling for the puck in the corner. Eventually it squeezes on around to the far side. Sean Loftus keeps it in the zone. Loftus, the first captain in Norwich Sea Captains history, was named captain prior to this game. The folks in the locker room were pretty excited about it, and personally I can't think of a better person to wear the C for this Norwich team. Loftus has been here from the beginning. He's one of the leaders in the locker room, and just one of those character players that every team needs, and every team is better because of it. Sharks looking to clear out of the zone. Kept alive at the blue line. A bad angle attempt was sent wide of the cage by Tegan Byer. Yamamoto can't control, and then Tim Hayden from center ice will send it back on down. Bender. Byer from long range on goal, saved by Bender. Kinahan gets knocked down in front of him, and that lost his stick on the play. Meanwhile, Holton keeps it alive and swings it into the near side corner. Cam Holton, a native of Fargo, Dakota, had some friends playing with him, so to speak, out in Blaine, Minnesota. Three Fargo natives donned the Sea Captains red, blue, and white out in Blaine, Minnesota. Caden Wurzbacher, the most notable in 3 games at the Showcase Tournament for Norwich. He put up 3 goals and an assist. Not a bad start to your NA3HL career. That being said, Wurzbacher has other things on his mind. He's 20 years old. He's already graduated college with a bachelor's degree, and he'll be working on the mayoral campaign that's going on this year in Fargo. Not a bad start to the life after hockey for the talented youngster. Here in Norwich, 4 minutes gone by in the first period, still no score. Here's Tony Moran reversing for Harwell. Harwell has it deflect off his stick. No icing on the play as Bender sees this go sliding past his cage. Back to retrieve is Medvedev. His pass to nobody in particular ends up at center ice. Jamison Bain, D-to-D across for Hayden. Played through the legs of Harwell. Carney there for the Sharks. Sends it back the other way. Rotsart couldn't get it very deep. And so the Sharks from the red line will send it down hard. Yoakum behind the net manages to stop it. Puck actually popped up on him. Never fun for a goaltender when the puck starts getting a mind of its own. Behind the net, Zembrzycki sends in front. Great save, Yoakum, as he comes out incredibly aggressive and makes the save. Well, the Sea Captains, sometimes you need your goaltender to steal a goal away from the other team, and that's exactly what Andrew Yoakum just did. Now behind the net, trying to work it on out is Wilkie Cook. Gives along for Bain. Bain a shot, saves the rebound in front. Schemmel couldn't get a handle on it, and it's taken out of the zone. Here's Jack Fitzpatrick, sending it on down. Getting there first is Killian Ranger, and he sends on over for Wilkie Cook. Cook out in Minnesota, boy, did he have himself a nice 3-game stretch. He recorded his first 2 goals at the NA3HL level. Both of them, or rather the first one, a game-tying goal against the Atlanta Capitals with under 5 minutes to play in the third period, and quite the celebration. And then Cook scores again against the Mid-Cities Junior Stars the very next day. We'll see if he can keep his goal streak going in this one. Meanwhile, in front, getting knocked down in front of the cage was Dylan Harbour. We have a whistle as that puck goes out of play. 14-14 to go in the first period. Still no score between Norwich and Long Beach. And the faceoff coming up deep in the Sea Captain's zone. Norwich led by head coach Kevin Cunningham. Cunningham, however, flying solo behind the Norwich bench this game. Assistant coach Nick DiNicola, unfortunately not available for this one. But hopefully he's watching and enjoying his Sea Captains early on here in January. 2-on-2 into the zone. Evan Tower drops back Byer. Byer a shot, ripped it wide. Delayed call coming up. It's going against Long Beach. The touch-up and the first penalty of the game. It's going to be an interference call against the Sharks. And so we'll get to see Norwich's power play for the first time in this game. Heading to the box for Long Beach is Hayden Doggett, and he'll sit 2 minutes for interference. Coming into this game, Norwich looking to improve on their power play. They're currently ranked 25th overall in the 34-team league. They convert on 20.5% of their power plays. Meanwhile, Long Beach, they're just at the bottom bottom third of the league, 24th overall. They kill off 66.7% of their penalties. Right now, they're able to send it all the way down the ice. Tim Hayden chasing after it, has a pair of forecheckers to deal with as the rest of the Sea Captains were still on the wrong side of the red line. Puck turned over in the corner. Schemmel tries chipping it back behind the net. Now Moran gives back for Schemmel. And Drew Schemmel with room through the neutral zone over the blue line. Schemmel now to the outside. Drops back for Ethan Ranger. Hayden at the point. Going towards the center of the umbrella. Gives along for Moran. Moran, a rising shot. Catches nothing but the glass. And that clears itself out of the zone. Always frustrating when you miss far side and give the defensive team an easy breakout. Norwich regroups in the neutral zone. Now Ethan Ranger, far side Schemmel. Schemmel sends one in front, trickles off a couple pairs of sticks. Now Ranger behind the net. Goes back to Hayden at the point. Swung quickly along for Moran. Moran gives back Ranger, and he fans on the one-timer. Ranger battling for the puck in the corner. All 3 Norwich forwards poking at this. Comes up to the near side wall. Ethan Ranger still involved. Schemmel comes by, steals the puck away. Gives behind the net for Tower. Schemmel for a Ranger, a one-time shot. This time he got all of it, but Bender tight on the post makes the save, and it's cleared on down by Jake Weichel. Here's Troy Harwell. 28 seconds to go in Norwich's power play. Byer gives along far side, controlled by Essing. Here's Essing into the zone. Gets knocked down on the play, swung, directed one wide of the cage. Byer at the blue line gives along Loftus. Loftus off the boards for Essing, gets the puck back. Loftus a shot, blocked before it ever made its way through to Bender. Loose puck picked up by Dylan Harbour, and Harbour is able to clear. Harbour onto the stick of Weichel, poked it away from behind. Nice job getting back into the play by Essing to break things up. Penalty has expired against Long Beach. We're back to 5-on-5 hockey with over 8 minutes gone by in the first period. A bouncing puck on goal. Yoakum will hold on, and the face-off will be to Andrew Yoakum's right. So 11:46 to go in the first. Still no score between these two teams. And it's strange. Almost the energy that has been in the lobby today. As we mentioned at the beginning, it's a snowy one today. About 10 inches of snow on the ground here in the Rose of New England. Long Beach picking up their fair share of snow as well, and they're the ones who had to drive through it. But getting back to that energy, it's almost like it's the beginning of the season again as Kinahan gets upended at the blue line. Tyler Fisher going low. It's a delayed offsides. Big hit going back the other way as Killian Ranger gets himself acquainted with the junior level. And that's going to draw an offsides call. After all that. Well, face off out in the neutral zone, but you get the sense that it's almost like the beginning of the season again. And for the Sea Captains, that's not too bad, as their first victory in franchise history came all the way back on September 26th down at the Long Beach Municipal Ice Arena, a 4-1 victory over these Long Beach Sharks. Norwich followed that up with a victory in their next game against the Bay State Bobcats, who they'll face off against tomorrow at 8 p.m. right here at the Rose Garden Ice Arena. Here's Hayden trying to come up the near side. Ran into a couple defensemen. Killian Ranger, Tower, tried giving in front for Kinahan. Tower again sends one across the slot. Nobody home for the Sea Caps. And so the Sharks were able to clear as far as the blue line before stepping up on the play is Nick Sachs. Sachs couldn't get the puck deep. Killian Ranger's able to one-hand it back down into the Shark zone, where it's picked up by Max Rothstart. Rothstart, a native of River Falls, Wisconsin, sees a whistle get blown as offsides is called. Faceoff will come back out into the neutral zone. 10:35 to go in the first period, and still no score between these two teams. Matt Carson on the draw against Ethan Ranger. Carson with a clean win back. Gilbert swung along far side. Richards directs it into the zone. Rothstart knocked down to the ice, reversed up that same side wall, and now Aiden Bain over the red line, chips it down deep into the Long Beach end. Bain pursues after it, canceled out behind the net. Evan Richards there to pick it up for the Sharks. He can't clear as Ethan Ranger swings it back down low. Richards will try the far side. This time he has a little help in the form of Roberto Dominguez. Dominguez, however, unable to get it out of the zone. Or check that, that was actually Rothstart on the far side. Ethan Ranger tried flipping it ahead for himself, booted away by Gilbert, and now here comes Gilbert through center ice. 3-on-3 over the blue line. Gilbert tries to go inside out around Jamison Bain, no sail there. In the Zamboni corner, Sharks looking to get set up. Swung back to the point. Here's Fitzpatrick on goal, saved by Yoakum, and he'll drag the puck out from the skates of Jamison Bain for the whistle. Faceoff will be to Yoakum's right with 9:41 to go in the first period. Fresh legs on the ice for the Sharks. It'll be Fitzpatrick on the draw. He's got Jake Weichel hanging out in the slot. For Norwich, it'll be Tegan Byer on the draw. He draws a warning. Off the face-off, controlled by the Sharks. Back at the point, here's Medvedev. His shot deflects wide, pokes out onto the near side wall. Wilkie Cook able to break things up. Can't get it out of the zone. Now Sachs in the corner. Gets some support from Tegan Byer. Byer tries going back to Cook. Harbour from the point. That shot gets deflected wide. Byer trying to work it up the wall. A real school of Sharks to deal with for the Sea Captains, as we're hitting every nautical theme that we can so far. Carney sends it on down, and Yoakum will leave it behind the net. Here's Sean Loftus. Off the boards. Can't connect with Cook. Loftus goes back behind the net where Nick Sachs will give it a go. Sachs tries flipping it up the blue line. Didn't quite get the height that he wanted on it. Shark getting knocked down at the blue line. Lost his glove on the play as well. That was Fitzpatrick. Meanwhile, here's Tegan Byer. Picks up Cam Holton, and Holton from the red line sends it down deep before going off for an obedient change. Wilkie Cook, the lone forechecker, gets run over by Carney. Yamamoto in his own end. Gives back for Carney. Devin Carney, 6'2", 215 pounds. The 0-2 out of Wasilla, Alaska. Personally, I think they just grow him bigger out there. And a definite Alaskan flair to this Long Beach team, as Carney is one of 3 Sharks to call Wasilla, Alaska home. Dylan Harbor and Holden Whitfong, the other 2. Well, at the very least, they can all take Alaska Air back together. Under 8 minutes to play in the scoreless first period. Here's Carney. Chipping one off the boards. Kinahan stepping up on the play. Gets bumped into by Logan Plant. Not out of the zone. Back to retrieve are the Sharks. Yamamoto plays it up the wall. And now here comes Long Beach 2-on-2 through the neutral zone. It's Plant to the outside. Watched by Bain. Plant stops in the corner. Tries forcing one towards the front of the net. Intercepted by Tony Moran. And Moran's pass goes behind Tower. Tower's going to chase after this. No icing on the play, as having to play the puck is Spencer Dixon. Dixon D-to-D behind the net for Fisher. Now Dixon again. Getting in the way of that was Killian Ranger. Loftus at the blue line. Sends one towards goal. Never made its way through. Deflected out into the Norwich end as the Sharks will change. Sachs rushing an outlet pass. Manages to get it over the blue line. Fisher will send it right back down. Sachs, this time with less time. Or rather, with less time. Loftus around the boards. Schemmel tries deflecting it out of the zone. Aiden Bain in the vicinity as well. Fisher sends it back down deep. Loftus far side for Killian Ranger. Ranger tries chipping one off the boards. Picks up some support from Sachs. And now back the other way they come. Here's Evan Tower. Tower from a bad angle has that get deflected out of play. And the face-off will be in the Long Beach zone with 6:36 to go in the first period. Still looking for our first goal in this game. As we mentioned, the Sea Captains will be in action again tomorrow. A 5:40 face-off against the Bay State Bobcats, as Norwich is squeezing a bunch of games together here in January. They'll be in action again with another home game on January the 12th. A noontime face-off next Wednesday against the Northeast Generals, and then they hit the road for a Thursday game down in New Jersey, also at noon. All those games can be heard right here on Hockey TV. Sent around behind the net by Essing. Pass back to the point, intercepted. Rotsart got taken out by the blue line monster, and the Sea Captains will send it back on down. Kyle Gilbert in the near side corner. Zembrzycki unable to get it out. Now Hayden. Puck out of the zone. Ethan Ranger tries pitchforking one back down into the Long Beach end. Instead, it'll be Zembrzycki who sends it on down. Now Jamison Bain with under 6 to play in the first period. Hayden reverses along near side. Harwell gives back to him. Hayden with a little more time gives along for Bain. Nobody on that wing side, though, and so it's going to result in a turnover. Sharks control, given back to Gilbert. Gilbert, top of the circle. His shot ramps up and still stays in play, as Gilbert didn't get everything he wanted on it. Nice shot by Wilkie Cook getting into the way. Now Tim Hayden flips one out towards center ice. Harwell only has Richards to get around. Richards able to get a skate on it to break things up. Wilkie Cook swings it right back down into the near side corner where Tegan Byer will retrieve. Byer run into the wall by Carson. Reinforcements arrive for both teams. Cook sends one towards the slot outside the reach of Harwell. Sharks looking to clear. They will. This should be icing, as Zembrzycki was unable to get a stick on it. And so with 5:01 to go in the first period, another offensive zone faceoff coming up for the Sea Captains. And this is a Norwich team that has a new look about them. Uniforms remain the same, and they're nice-looking uniforms at that, but they're playing with a confidence that, quite frankly, we didn't really see in November nor December. That being said, Sea Captains should probably have 5 skaters out on the ice as Jack Kinahan comes on out to make it the full cohort. So face-off to the right of goaltender Justin Bender. A warning against the Sea Captains. It's Byer on the draw against Matt Carson. These two have already seen each other in the face-off dot a couple times. Byer needs to be careful already with 1 warning. If he gets another one, that actually results in a delay of game penalty. One of the rule changes this year that you're seeing in hockey. It used to be that there was no such thing as a warning. Rather, the centerman would just get kicked out of the face-off dot. That being said, if 2 centermen get kicked out, it's still a delay of game penalty. Incredibly rare to see, but it does happen a few times each year, even as high as the NHL level. Perhaps the weirdest one took place, call it almost, 10, 15 years ago or so now. The older I get, the less fun it is to date things like that. But it was a New Jersey Devils game on the opening face-off. Patrick Elias was the centerman. He got kicked out. Dinas Zubris came in to take the face-off. He false started as well, and the Devils started the game shorthanded. Right here, only 1 penalty so far. It's gone against Long Beach. But the Sea Captains, even though they recorded 3 shots on goal with that man advantage, were unable to convert. Dylan Harbour offsides as he touched the puck on the wrong side of the blue. Faceoff will come back out into a neutral zone with 4:20 to go in the first period. It'll be Evan Tower, Killian Ranger, and Drew Schemmel centering those two. For Long Beach, Jack Fitzpatrick on the draw. This time a warning against Long Beach. Puck is dropped, and we're back underway. Schemmel able to angle off Fitzpatrick. Behind the net, turned over, Weichel. Loose puck picked up by the Sea Captains. Killian Ranger's able to direct it out. Now Evan Tower racing after it, but beaten to the puck. Solid hustle shown by Mikita Medvedev. Now Medvedev with speed coming back the other way. Actually knocked the stick out of Killian Ranger's hand. Medvedev pokes the puck back up to himself. Nifty little play to get around the defense of Nick Sachs. And then the puck was actually caught up on the netting behind the cage. You don't see that too often. Face-off should come outside the zone as no Norwich player actually touched the puck. Well, let's see where the referees decide the face-off should be. 3:47 to go in the first period. The officials still discussing this. Face-off again should come outside as no Norwich player had actually touched the puck, and indeed, it looks like that's what's going to happen, although perhaps not. Is there going to be a penalty that arises out of this? Well, the official pointing to the Long Beach bench. Not sure what they were, rather, what happened here. Or is this just going to be where the face-off actually is? Actually, heading off the bench for Long Beach is Jack Fitzpatrick. And there's a Long Beach player in the box. Moreover, there's a 5-minute major up on the board. Well, I have no idea where that took place, but either way, the Norwich Sea Captains will have a 5-minute major power play with 3:47 to go in the first period, and it looks like Jack Fitzpatrick has been kicked out of this game. A big loss for the Long Beach Sharks. In 3 minutes and 47 seconds of game time, we'll get a little clarity on that, as I didn't exactly see what happened, and beyond that, Long Beach was controlling the puck when the whistle blew, or rather, when the puck was on the back of the net. So perhaps something was said, I'm not sure. Either way, it's a major power play for the Sea Captains, and it'll be Sean Loftus. Smoked out from behind the cage by Weichel. He sends it along to the near side wall. Ethan Ranger unable to handle it, sent back down into the Sea Cap zone. Now Moran. Ranger gives back to Moran, and you see the aggressive forecheck on the penalty kill. Ethan Ranger decides not to go behind the net this time, and he'll get the puck over the red line before sending it into the Long Beach zone, just as quickly bounced on out and all the way down the ice by Dixon. Under 3 minutes to play in the first period, and Norwich already a minute into this major power play, and they haven't been able to break back into the zone. Troy Harwell looking to change that. Harwell on the near side wall. Gets around Carney, now behind the net of Bender. Harwell tried sending one towards the front, intercepted by Weichel, and he flips it as far as the red line. Now Tegan Byer, geometrically off the boards, too far for Holton to handle. Picked up by Harbor. Harbor, top of the circle, manages to stay on his feet. Dog it from a bad angle, missed wide. Evan Richards from the blue line. He sends one on goal, and Yoakum directs it into the corner. Harwell picks up the loose puck. A minute and a half gone by on the Norwich power play. They have not recorded a shot on goal yet. Tegan Byer in the neutral zone. Can't get it over the red line. Yoakum, well served just to hold on to the puck, and perhaps that can be the reset that the Norwich Sea Captains need with 2:05 to go in the first period, and already a minute 42 seconds gone by on their major power play. They have not looked good so far, so the next unit will come on out and try and change things around. It'll be Ethan Ranger, Drew Schemmel up front alongside Evan Tower, Tony Moran, and Tim Hayden, the defenseman. Losing his stick on the play was Doggett. Here comes Tim Hayden leading things over the red line. Hayden over the blue gives to Ethan Ranger. Ranger from a bad angle, saved by Bender. The rebound goes over the stick of Tower, and the Sharks clear it all the way down. Yoakum will direct it into the far corner. Moran lost his footing behind the cage. Ethan Ranger picks it up with under 100 seconds to go in the period. Here's Tower by himself through the neutral zone. Tower at the hash marks, tries reversing back for Hayden. Zembrzycki was in the way. Turned over, and the Sharks are able to clear. Medvedev sends it all the way down. Plant in the corner. Doesn't have much help, so he's just looking to kill off as much time as possible. 1:10 to go in the period as Ethan Ranger over the red line. Fans on the pass. Zembrzycki plays it to himself off the boards and again clears it all the way down the ice. Last minute of play in the first period. 2:13 to go in the Norwich power play. Turned over in the neutral zone. Carney sends it all the way down. Here's Harwell. Spinning away from the pressure of Zembrzycki. Troy Harwell gets around another forechecker, and now 3-on-2 they come into the zone. Harwell tried directing it along for Byer. Byer swings around far side where Loftus will control. Across the blue line, Harwell. Now Byer. Back to Harwell. 28 to go in the period. Harwell's shot deflects wide from a bad angle. Tower's shot gets blocked as well. Now Holton with 18 to go in the period. Holton goes behind the net. Byer wanted to help it along further for Essing. Can't complete the pass. Puck takes a bounce off a glass stanchion. Stays in the zone. 6 seconds to go in the period. Here's Harwell. Gives along Holton. Holton needs to shoot. It flips wide of the corner. And that'll do it for the first period. Final 5 minutes of the first period. Spearing the call against Fitzpatrick. And the reason why we were so confused about it is because that penalty took place behind the play. It was actually the linesman who called it, and the linesman, well, when they see a penalty, that's a major. They do have the right and the ability to blow that dead. They have to inform the referee at the next whistle. That's exactly what the linesman did, and so Fitzpatrick lost for the rest of the game for Long Beach, and the Sea Captains will have to begin 200 feet away from where they want to be, as Andrew Yoakum, who made 9 saves in the first period, clears it as far as the red line. Sharks come back into their offensive zone, turned over, and now Evan Tower. Pressed up against the wall, lost possession of the puck, gets sent back down into the Sea Captain's end. Ranger touches one along for Hayden, who gives along for Tony Moran. Moran behind the net, has a pair of forecheckers circle past him, and now Moran. Far side, off the boards, picked up by Tower. Tower lost possession over the red line, sent back down. 28 seconds to go in the power play for Norwich. Here's Ethan Ranger over the blue line. Ranger puts it into the skates of Hayden. Hayden sends one in front. Schemmel a drive, saved by Bender, his best of the game. Oh, Drew Schemmel picks up the puck in the slot. That's probably the best opportunity that the Sea Captains have had. Harwell Had it roll off of his stick. We have a whistle. Is this too many men on the ice against the Sea Captains? I believe it is. Let's see what happens. Actually, this might be, well, it's too many men on the ice against somebody. Let's find out who actually goes to the box. I think it will be against the Sea Captains. Head coach Kevin Cunningham looking animated behind the Norwich bench, and so I imagine it will be somebody from the home team finding their way to the box, and serving the penalty will be Tony Moran. So, just a minute and 14 seconds into the second period, the Sea Captains have seen their major power play expire, where they recorded 4 shots on goal total. And now we get to see a Long Beach on the power play for the first time in this game. Long Beach comes into this game ranked 23rd overall on the power play, converting on 26% of their power play opportunities. Meanwhile, the Sea Captains, their penalty kill could use a little work itself. They are currently ranked 26th in the league, killing off 72.4% of their penalties. So in a scoreless game, the puck off the faceoff ends up in the near side corner. Given back to Gilbert at the point for Long Beach. Gilbert on the hash marks. Goes back to Dixon. Spencer Dixon swings along far side. Now back to Dixon at the top of the key. Given along, Gilbert swings one through the slot. Nobody home wearing a blue jersey. Shot blocked by Harwell. Another shot. That one blocked by Byer. Forced up the wall by Matt Carson. Rotsart was unable to get the puck much deeper. Cleared all the way down by Jamison Bain. 40 seconds gone by on Long Beach's first power play of the game. Here they come breaking out from behind their own net. Zembrzycki over the red line and into the Norwich zone. Flipped into the near side corner. First one there is Sachs, unable to clear. Gilbert stepping in. That shot deflects off the stick of Ranger and over the top of the net. Now coming in from the blue line, Spencer Dixon. Given back to the point. Rotsart swings it on back towards the blue line. Gilbert's shot gets blocked by Hayden. Now Rotsart again with 48 to go on the power play. A backhand shot off the mask of Yoakum. He'll hold on. That's one way to wake up a goaltender. Faceoff will be to the St. Louis natives left. With 43 seconds to go in the Long Beach power play. And 2 minutes and 32 seconds gone by in the second period. It's been the beginning and the ends of periods that have been Norwich's bane throughout this year. Seems like the middle 18 minutes of the period are fine, but it's the beginnings and the ends where they have surrendered seemingly a majority of their goals. Here's Medvedev, swung along far side. Medvedev now at the blue line, gives along near side. Carney a shot, and getting a blocker on that was Yoakum as Carney tried going short side. Puck squirted out towards the front. Yoakum able to poke it away. Still in the zone as Medvedev sends it a little too hard for Yamamoto to handle. Cleared over the boards, or rather over the stick of Yamamoto, off the boards, all the way down. 5 seconds to go in the Sharks power play. Long pass connects with Doggett at center ice. Doggett simply directs this on goal, and Yoakum will hold on as the penalty expires. So the faceoff will be to Andrew Yoakum's right. 16:44 to go in the second period. Still no score. And now both teams unable to convert with the man advantage. Norwich 0 for 2 with the man advantage. The Sharks now 0 for 1. It'll be Dylan Harbour on the draw against Drew Schemmel in a battle of number 13s. Schemmel with the face-off win into the corner. Weichel battling for it with Nick Sachs. Sachs still working on it. Puck popped up into the air. Essing unable to get a handle on it. Puck goes off the high glass behind the net of Yoakum. In the corner, it's Holden Wiltfong. Wiltfong, now Medvedev at the blue line. Gets around Essing, sends one on goal, that just deflects wide. Oh, there was daylight to the glove hand of Yoakum. It deflected off of somebody in front. Now here's Harbour. Dipsy doodling his way over to the far side corner. Bad angle attempt, saved by Yoakum. He gets the rebound as well, and then Harbour takes down Sachs after the whistle. Referee waves off any potential penalties. Face-off will remain in the Norwich zone with 16:07 to go in the second period. Evan Tower, Killian Ranger, Wilkie Cook up front for the Sea Captains. Tower on the draw. One towards the wall. Moran tries forcing it on up. Getting in the way of that was Exia Fogelgren. First time that we've said Fogelgren's name in this game. Barnard gets around Tower. Barnard then sends one to the slot. Trying to tee it up was Fogelgren. Dixon from the point, blocked by Loftus. Killian Ranger sends far side off the stick of Wilkie Cook. Cook still on the forecheck. Back the other way. They attempt to go, but having his pocket picked was Francis Gallagher. Now here's Tower, drops back Cook. Cook's shot gets blocked by Dixon. Loose puck in the corner. Moran, the first one there, sends it off the stick of Cook. And the Long Beach Sharks are able to clear. 2 on 4 into the zone. Nice back check by Moran to break things up. He and Gallagher come together and then fall down to the ice together as well. Puck squirts on out. Sharp angle attempt by Fogelgren was blockered away. Killian Ranger simply touches it out towards center ice. And you see Killian Ranger making his NA3HL debut in this game. Sometimes it's better to take a look up. If Ranger had sent that off the boards in front of the Long Beach bench, it's quite possible that he could have caught the Sharks with too many men on the ice. But of course, in your first game with a new team, there are other things that might be on your mind, as Richards, not in his first game, misses the D-to-D pass to Kyle Gilbert. Gilbert has to retreat all the way back behind his cage. Then he sends one far side that deflects off a couple players, so no icing on the play. Yoakum reverses back, same side wall. Roster, the first one there. Intercepted by Ethan Ranger, and Ranger looks to break out. His outlet pass intercepted by Roster. Roster on in, and Yoakum gets a blocker on it. Now Zembrzycki in the corner. Lost possession of the puck. Jameson Bain up ahead for Aiden Bain. Still no relation between those two. Turned over. Zembrzycki sends one on goal, saved by Yoakum. Batted out of midair by Hayden. Here's Kinahan. He's unable to clear either. Carson, nice little move. His shot blocked by Hayden. Diving out was Kinahan. Then he knocked down a Shark player. That was Doggett. Play continues. All Sharks right now as it's Richards at the blue line. Swung along far side. Long range shot. Gloved by Yoakum. And he'll hold on. As Kyle Gilbert got a little more air on that shot than he wanted to. Face-off will be to the left of Yoakum. 13:35 to go in the first period, or rather in the second period. Folks over in the score box haven't updated the period part yet. We'll get there eventually. Tegan Byer on the draw for the Sea Captains. Another defensive zone face-off for Norwich. As off the draw, puck squirts on out. Cam Holton will pick it up, and Holton to the outside, gets around Carney. Holton stops on the half wall, now touches it behind the net. Medvedev cuts that off, manages to get around Essing. Byer, unable to come up with the puck. Here come the Sharks back the other way. Nick Sachs with a hip check, able to separate the Shark from the puck. Carney, a long-range shot, goes wide. Medvedev at the blue line. He'll send one all the way around the roulette wheel to the near side corner. Doggett the first one there. Moran able to poke that away. Byer up the wall, trying to get around Carney. No sail there as Doggett will pick up the loose puck and force it back down. Byer able to intercept at the blue line. He hits Nick Sachs. Sachs, the defenseman, a long-range shot, goes wide. Byer picks up the loose puck, throws it wide of the cage. Holton chasing after it with Medvedev. Medvedev can't get it around Cook. Loose puck collected by Logan Plant. Not out of the zone. Sachs a shot. Bender sends it into the corner. Now Medvedev tries that same side wall. Wilkie Cook is there, but a delayed call coming up against the Sea Captains. It's going to be Tegan Byer going to the box. He'll sit 2 minutes for cross-checking, and with 12:26 to go in the second period, the Long Beach Sharks will go on to their second power play of the game. Still no score between these two squads. This is the 5th meeting of 8 between these two teams. Long Beach holds a 3-1 series lead. Face-off will be to the right of Yoakum. Harbor, Weichel, and Holden Wiltfong up front for the Sharks. For Norwich, it's Drew Schemmel with a face-off win. Unable to clear was Loftus. Harbor, watched closely by Schemmel. Harbor gives along Fisher, and now Dylan Harbor again. On goal, saved by Yoakum, and he holds on. Good thing, too, as there were a pair of Sharks sniffing around for a rebound. Only 14 seconds gone by on that power play. And so it'll be Schemmel and Harbor to duel once again. Harbor this time with the face-off win. Fisher at the blue line gets it back from Harbor as they play catch. Fisher walking on in. Gives for Harbor, not in the wheelhouse. Harbor then back for Fisher, and Harbor again. Sent in front, deflected, they score! Jake Weichel with the deflection, and it's 1-0 Long Beach. Oh, the Norwich defense continued to bend until they finally break as Weichel deflects the Dylan Harbor pass just inside the far post. Outside the reach of Andrew Yoakum for Weichel. It is his team-leading 15th goal of the season, his 4th on the power play. That also leads Long Beach. And the Sharks now hold a 1-0 lead with over 8 minutes gone by in the second period. Here's Moran. Reversing for Schemmel. Schemmel tried one-handing along for Killian Ranger. Tries it again. This time it's knocked away. Sharks collect. Here's Dixon. Tries sending one towards the slot. Yoakum gets there. Can't hold on to the puck. Schemmel's seen enough. He sends one hard off the glass. That deflected off of somebody, and so it doesn't go all the way down the ice. Now Fogelgren directs it back into the zone. Yoakum doesn't want to take a chance. He'll just hold on. Face-off will be down in the Norwich zone as it has been a difficult period so far for the Sea Captains. They were hanging steady with Long Beach, and then they had their major power play that, quite frankly, Long Beach seemingly had more time of possession with. And then a pair of power plays in this period has led the Sharks to a 1-0 lead on Weichel's 15th of the year just moments ago. It's Evan Tower on the draw for the Sea Captains. A loose puck comes back to the point. Richards a shot kicked aside by Yoakum. Kinahan off the boards over the defenseman's stick. That was Kyle Gilbert unable to come up with it. Tower chasing after it. Richards will get there first and sends over to the near side for Barnard. Barnard knocked off his stick by Holton. Collected by Long Beach, and they'll reverse out the far side wall. Holton all over the ice on this shift. Sends that out of play. Faceoff will once again be in the Sea Captain zone as that puck ended up in the Long Beach bench. Long Beach does have a backup goaltender dressed today, and that's Grayson Skirpin, the Philadelphia native. But Skirpin decides to, well, play it safe. He's actually hanging out next to the Long Beach bench behind one of these huge panes of glass that line the Rose Garden Ice Arena. Might be some of the tallest glass around. I think these are 10-foot panes that go all the way around the rink. Certainly keeps things interesting. You compare that to, say, other arenas around, such as Long Beach, which have shorter glass. It's for teams having to pay attention, as sometimes a puck will go out of play or stay in depending on where you're playing. Now a 2-on-1 developing for the Sharks. Sent along into the slot as it hopped over the stick of Rostert. Not out of the zone. Gilbert manages to flip it back on down. Rostert picks it up. Gives back in front. A backhand shot off the stick of Gilbert. And Yoakum gets a shoulder on it. Now Gilbert again from a bad angle. Missed wide. Carson at the blue line. Thrown towards the cage. That goes off the stick of Moran and wide. Not sure if the initial shot was going to be on goal anyway. Pass too hard for Essing to handle. Loose puck. And everybody just looking at it. Eventually Essing's able to come up with it. Here's Essing from the red line. He'll send it on down deep. Essing then took a stick up high, and going to the penalty box is Matt Carson. So the third power play now for the Norwich Sea Captains with 9:43 to go in the second period. And trailing by 1. Even if they don't score on this power play, at the very least, you hope that they can develop some offensive momentum and get themselves back into this game. Carson for Long Beach in the box, native of Cleveland, Ohio. And as soon as the whistle blew, he looked at the referee, saw the referee's arm up, and just nodded his head. Off the draw, it's controlled by the Sea Captains. Here is Loftus. As mentioned, Loftus with a drive. And Loftus named the first captain in Sea Captains history earlier today. Loftus, top of the umbrella, under pressure from Harbor. Directs it along for Beyer. Beyer sends down low Harwell. Harwell goes behind the net. Medvedev was waiting for that, and he's able to clear. All the way down the ice, Harbor in pursuit. Loftus will get there first, quickly met by Harbor. He reverses back for Essing. Essing then turns the puck over. Shot saved by Jochum. Loose puck behind the net. Harbor a wraparound attempt, and Jochum got that one as well. Here's Brian Essing with a backhand shot going over the top of the cage. Wiltfong for Long Beach, able to clear it on down. Hayden gets there first, and he swings far side for Tony Moran. Moran onto the tape of Holton. 3-on-2 over the blue line. Holton gives along for Harwell. Harwell at the half wall. Goes back Moran at the point. Moran on goal, deflected by Holton wide. Ethan Ranger picks it up. He sends one off the side of the cage. Loose puck picked up by Harwell. He tries forcing it towards the front of the net. Nobody home for the Sea Captains. And Long Beach is able to clear. 40 seconds to go in the power play. Ethan Ranger sends it back down into the Sharks' end. First one there is Devin Carney. Carney goes off the boards over the stick of Moran. Moran will catch up to it at the red line. Reverses off the boards for Schemmel, who gets it back down into the Long Beach zone. Not with possession, and so Medvedev is able to pick it up. And he wraps hard around the wall. Moran this time able to keep it in the zone. Moran, watched closely by Wiltfong, sends it on goal. Kick save by Justin Bender. Now Schemmel, forced behind the net. Tower gives along Moran. Moran tried forcing one towards the front, intercepted, and cleared all the way down the ice by Mikita Medvedev. 2 seconds and 1, and we're back to even strength hockey. Norwich now 0 for 3 with the man advantage, including a major power play that spanned the end of the first and the beginning of this period. Jamison Bain lost possession of the puck. This bounces in on goal by Plant. Tim Hayden will pick it on up. Hayden fans on the outlet pass. Doggett comes into that scrum on the near side wall. Cam Holton that's Tower who joins in, frees things up, and now Ethan Ranger from his own blue line will send it down into the Long Beach zone. Icing is called. Ranger got tied up with a Shark player over the blue line. Everybody comes by just to say hello to each other. Face-off will come back down into the Sea Captains' end with 7:04 to go in the second period, and the Long Beach Sharks holding on to a 1-0 lead. Sharks trying to figure out what side of the ice they want this face-off to be on. That's another one of those rule changes from this season. They will choose the left wing side. And stepping in for the draw is Logan Plant. He'll go up against the Ethan Ranger. Plant has Yamamoto and Doggett up front with him. Ethan Ranger with a clean face-off win, and now here's Tim Hayden looking to gain some speed. Taken down by Yamamoto. Play continues as Hayden from his knees unable to get control of the puck. And so Jamison Bain sends it into an empty area. Schemmel beaten to the puck by Dixon. Dixon, his centering feed goes off the skates of Ranger. Bain picks it on up, gives along for Holton. Jamison Bain able to clear it on out. Ethan Ranger following up on the play. He'll slide it all the way down the ice. Ethan Ranger started this year on the Norwich Sea Captains with his other brother, Harrison Ranger. More Rangers than you can shake a stick at, apparently, here in Norwich. It's the Sharks controlling in their own end with 6:13 to go in the second period. Byer nearly able to force a turnover, chipped on up, and now it's Logan Plant from a far angle, goes behind the net. Loose puck picked up. Trying to get it out of the zone is Killian Ranger, and now sent far side for Harwell. Harwell watched closely by Dixon. Harwell sends one through the slot, nobody home for the Sea Captains. Long Beach looking to clear. Killian Ranger has an opportunity to send it back down. He does. Harwell picks it up. Centering feed off the stick of Bender. Now Loftus at the blue line. Harwell back for Loftus. Loftus a drive. Getting in the way of that was Fogelgren. Isaiah Fogelgren then has the puck knocked off of his stick by Loftus. Pair of players came together in a neutral zone. That was Holton and Gallagher. Play continues as Yoakum leaves it along for Nick Sachs. Sachs goes far side Holton. Holton, now Killian Ranger. 2-on-2 through a neutral zone. Ranger can't get it down deep. Sharks back quickly the other way. It's Fogelgren over the blue line. Run into by Loftus. Harwell, delayed call coming up. It's going to go against the Sharks as Killian Ranger was tripped up from behind. And with 5:03 to go in the second period, the Sea Captains will go on to their 4th power play of the afternoon. Still looking for their first goal of this game, as Francis Gallagher will sit 2 for interference. So the Sea Caps already with 9 minutes of power play time. That being said, they are being outshot in this second period by a 12-6 margin. Makes sense considering the amount of power plays that the Sharks have had. Ethan Ranger on the draw. He's got Evan Tower and Drew Schemmel up front. Tony Moran and Tim Hayden on the blue line. Schemmel's one-timer was intercepted by Zembrzycki. Puck behind the net. It's Ethan Ranger. Goes back to Hayden at the point. Timmy Hayden dancing at the blue line, gives along for Schemmel. Schemmel goes back for Hayden, who keeps it in the zone. Now Schemmel again as they get the overload on the far side. Behind the net, it's Ranger. Ranger. Now Schemmel. Schemmel steals it away from Zembrzycki, who was looking for an easy clear. Check that, Ethan Ranger, a centering feed, knocked away. Schemmel has it for a moment. Richards there as well as they come together on the Zamboni doors as Zembrzycki is finally able to clear. Chasing after this is Matt Carson. Hayden gets there first, gives along for Moran. Tony Moran out of his own zone with 1:08 to go in the power play. Moran drops for Ethan Ranger. For Hayden. Now Tower sent in on goal. It's loose in the blue paint. Bender is able to get a pad on it, and the Sharks are able to clear. Under 4 minutes to play in the second period, and under 50 seconds to go on the Sea Captains power play. A whole mess of players out in the neutral zone. Eventually, it's Troy Harwell who gets to the puck first. He's quickly hit by Zembrzycki, but holds on to the puck. Harwell goes back, Loftus at the point. Loftus on goal, it's blocked in front. Harwell then sends it on, and Bender able to get a glove on it. Face-off will be to his left. Well, Justin Bender hasn't been tested too often in this second period, and he has remained perfect so far. 3:35 to go in the second period and 32 seconds to go on the Norwich power play. Second unit of Cam Holton, Tegan Byer, and Troy Harwell up front. Brian Essing in his first game will get a power play shift on the blue line as he touches along for Loftus. Loftus on goal, saved by Bender. Tegan Byer had his stick knocked out of his hands, but that goes undetected by the officiating crew. Face-off remains in the Long Beach zone with 27 to go on the power play. Byer on the draw again against Logan Plant, and Byer with another face-off win. This time it's Harwell. Given back for Loftus. Loftus top of the circle, a shot saved by Bender. Byer trying to come up with the puck in the corner. Has some support in Holton, and Holton tries to force it behind the net. Medvedev meets him there. Back up at the point, it's Loftus. Given along for Byer. Byer overskated the puck. Holton in support. His shot saved by Bender. Doggett tries going up the same side wall. Medvedev there as well. Byer knocks that down. Doggett again unable to clear. Troy Harwell picks it up. Penalties expire. We're back to 5-on-5 as Holton's shot ramps up off the stick of Devin Carney and goes out of play. Well, the Sea Captains showing signs of life on that power play, as they were able to get a couple shots on goal and make Justin Bender go post to post more than once. 2:55 to go in the second period, and an offensive zone face-off for the Sea Captains. It'll be Jack Kinahan on the draw. He goes up against Dylan Harbour. Kinahan with a clean face-off win. Bouncing puck at the top of the circle. Everybody kind of took a look at it. Jamison Bain able to dump it back down into the Sharks' end. Bender will stick it along for Dixon. Now Aiden Bain. Sent in front. It goes through the blue paint. And Justin Bender gets his blocker on top of the puck for the whistle. Not sure who that went off of. Jack Kinahan was certainly in the area for Norwich. There were a pair of Sharks defensemen as well. At 2:39 to go in the second period. And the face-off again between Kinahan and Harbour. This time Harbour with the face-off win. Sharks looking to clear. Wilt Fong over the red line for his fellow Alaskan Harbour. That's broken up. Jamison Bain for Aiden Bain. Killian Ranger. That's apparently the only people touching the puck are the folks who have last names that sound similar. Sent out towards center ice. Jamison Bain trips up Dylan Harbour. No call on the play. Following up on the shot, Yoakum makes a save. Puck is still in a dangerous area. Here's Dixon lancing one wide. Stepping in from the point is Fisher. Fisher on goal, saved by Yoakum. And he's able to locate the rebound for the whistle. 1:57 to go in the second period. Getting a little back and forth action as this second stanza comes to a close. So defensive zone face-off coming up. It's going to be Wilkie Cook, Drew Schemmel, and Ethan Ranger up front for the Sea Caps. Matt Carson on the draw for the Sharks. Carson tried shooting it on goal directly off the face-off. Didn't quite have the legs for that. Meanwhile, Gilbert, down low, Wilt Fong. Sachs lost, or rather couldn't come up with possession. Now Rotsart has the puck trickle off of his stick. Sachs unable to get it on out. This time Ethan Ranger off the glass, off one of the I-beams holding up this very snowy ceiling up here. And the face-off remains in the Norwich zone. 1:33 to go in the second period. Cast of characters remains the same as Rotsart and Ethan Ranger. Prepare to battle once again. Rotsart has Zembrzycki in the shooter's position, wins it to him. Zembrzycki with a shot gloved by Yoakum. And the face-off once again will be to Andrew Yoakum's right. Yoakum has stopped 16 of 17 shots on goal so far through 38.5 minutes of play. Here's Zembrzycki again off the face-off. That time the shot is blocked. Wilkie Cook goes the wrong way with the puck. Hate it when that happens. Ethan Ranger, he knows which way the puck's supposed to go. Sends it on down into the Sharks zone. Bender left it behind the net, around the boards. Sharks looking to clear. It goes over the stick of Drew Schemmel, who's frustrated by that turn of events. Meanwhile, Tony Moran in his own end sends one off the glass. Cook at the blue line. Should be a delayed offsides against Long Beach. They get away with one. Meanwhile, Schemmel unable to get it over the red line. Here come the Sharks once again. Moran tried breaking things up. Dumped down by the Sharks with a minute to go in the second period. Ethan Ranger off the glass and out past the outstretched leg of Evan Richards. Richards directs it back the other way. Ranger following up on the play. Can't get it around Richards. He almost connects with Yamamoto. Here's Ryu Yamamoto. Behind the net of Yoakum. Yamamoto gives back to the point. A rising shot punched aside by Yoakum and then directed hard into the Long Beach bench. That's not very gentlemanly. 34.3 to go. Face-off remains in the Norwich zone to the left of Andrew Yoakum. Sharks currently outshooting Norwich 12-6 in this period after Norwich outshot Long Beach 9-5 in the first. It'll be Evan Tower on the draw for the Sea Captains. Face-off won by Plant. Picked up by Carney. Carney couldn't maintain possession. Loftus, however, unable to clear. Now Carney again. Run into by Loftus. Loftus comes up with the puck. Tries going up the wall. Intercepted by Medvedev, not out of the zone. Now Yamamoto on goal, kicked aside by Yoakum. Hayden can't take it away from Yamamoto. 10 seconds to go in the period. Here's Plant at the blue line, D across. Shot gets blocked by Essing. Comes out towards center ice. 2 seconds and 1. And that'll do it for the 5-a-side as Ethan Ranger steps in against Matt Carson. And we're underway in the third. Justin Bender has stopped all 20 shots that he's faced. We mentioned this is only his third game of the season as Carson breaks into the zone. But for Bender, he's got a perfect 2-0 record. One of those victories was a shutout. And right now, he's in line for his second of the year, unless the Sea Captains can find the back of the net here in the third. Here's Zembricki. His shot gets blocked. In the corner, picked up by Rostert. Given along Carney. Carney's shot blocked by Loftus. D they go. Sent down low. Rostert tried sending one in front of the cage. Intercepted and cleared out of the zone by Brian Essing. No icing on the play as Medvedev is back to pick it up. Nikita Medvedev, long pass through center ice. Directed along for Carson. Carson sends it along in alone. Great save, Yoakum, as he robs Mac Rostart. Oh, he said it back in the first period. Sometimes you need your goaltender to come up big. That's the second time that Andrew Yoakum has come up big for the Sea Captains in this game, and he keeps it a one-goal affair. Now Moran in his own end. Deflected before it could be completed along for Killian Ranger at center ice. Zembricki run into the wall by Moran. Managed to give it along for Doggett, who sent it down into the zone, and Yoakum thought about playing it and decides to hold on. Face-off will be to his left, 90 seconds into the third period. As mentioned, this game begins the January schedule for both of these teams. For Long Beach, this is their only game this weekend, but then they'll play 3-3 next weekend against New Jersey, back up here in Norwich, and against Danbury as well. And then they'll play another pair of games against the Northeast Generals, as this season, surprisingly, is already past its halfway point. Playoffs begin the second weekend of March. We're getting close to it, folks. Here's Aiden Bain at the red line. Wilkie Cook in to help out as well, but it's Evan Tower who eventually sends it in towards goal. That goes off the glass, pops out in front, off the glove of Bender. Sent back to the point where Hayden directs it around into the near side corner. First one there is Zembricki. Yamamoto unable to clear as Jameson Bain holds the blue line. Bain can't do it a second time as Yamamoto rushes up ahead through center ice. Yamamoto in on goal. Yoakum able to poke check it away. Yamamoto picks up the puck in the corner. Now picks up some support as well. Dixon D for Fisher on goal. Saved by, they score! Oh, that snuck through the 5-hole of Andrew Yoakum. And it's 2-0 Sharks. Logan Plant with the deflection. And for Plant, it is his 7th goal of the season. It doubles up the lead for Long Beach. And we said it in the last period. The beginnings of these periods have been difficult for the Sea Captains, and that hex strikes again, as Long Beach now leads 2-0 with 17:35 to go in regulation time. Sharks again in the offensive zone. Byer picks up a loose puck on the side of the cage, gives along for Jack Kinahan. Kinahan was unavailable for the Sea Captains out in Blaine, Minnesota. Was nursing an upper body injury. Good to see him back on the ice here in 2022. Here's Jake Weichel, the initial goal scorer in this game. His pass intercepted by Byer. Byer gives along for Kinahan. Drops back. Holton. Holton's shot kicked aside by Bender. Harbor plays it softly out into the neutral zone. Byer knocks it away, but Gilbert following up on the play. Gets turned around at the blue line. Here comes Tegan Byer back the other way. 2-on-4 into the zone. Byer in front, directed on by Holton. Saved by Bender. Byer following up on the play, and Bender saves that one as well. The net was knocked off of its moorings, so the Sharks unable to change, and the faceoff will remain in the Long Beach zone. 16:44 to go in the third period, and now the Sea Captains playing with a sense of desperation. Let's see if they can put the Sharks back on their heels. It'll be Ethan Ranger, Troy Harwell, Brian Essing up front for the home squad. Nick Sachs, Timmy Hayden back on the point. Stepping in for the draw for Long Beach is Dylan Harbor. Face off one into the corner by Ranger. Ranger then wanting to go back to Sachs. Pass is intercepted, and now here comes Long Beach back the other way. Led by Isaiah Fogelgren. Puck on his backhand, one hand on his stick. Bowls in on goal. Yoakum manages to stay up on his skates. But we have a whistle, and will this be a goaltender interference call against the Sharks? Let's find out. Well, apparently no penalty as the linesman comes on by, adjusts the net back onto the goal line. That's usually where you want the net to be. Although, a funny story out in Blaine, prior to the NA3HL Super Showcase tournament, as Gilbert from the blue line sees his shot blocked. We'll finish the story in just a moment, but Fogelgren, his shot blocked as well. Behind the net, Sachs tries forcing it along the far side wall. Ethan Ranger following up on the play, and now it's Troy Harwell. Off the boards, he'll chase after it himself. Hayden on the forecheck as well. Neither one of them able to come up with the puck. Fogelgren turned around by Ethan Ranger. Essing tries directing one towards the front of the net. Hayden chasing after it. Now Essing finds Ethan Ranger. Ranger swings one wide of the cage. Hayden, the defenseman on this play, and he's been all over the puck. A shot on, saved by Bender. Puck is loose on the side of the cage, picked up by Barnard. Barnard intercepted by Harwell, goes back to Sachs. Sachs winds and fires, deflects and blocks in front, and the Sharks are able to clear. Here is Gallagher at the blue line. He'll direct one in on goal. That Yoakum sends up ice for Hayden. Here's Hayden onto the tape of Wilkie Cook. Cook, nice little move to get around Carney. Medvedev and Cook come together behind the net. Medvedev able to poke it past Wilkie and out towards center ice. Jamison Bain can't get it back on down. Carson will lightly flip it into the Norwich zone with just about 5 minutes gone by in the third. Now Loftus up to the near side wall. Getting beaten out to that was Aiden Bain. Now Jamison Bain in the far corner doing battle with Carson. Harwell has it knocked off of his stick. Carney at the blue line. D to D they go. Stepping on in is Barnard. Shot then goes well wide. Wraps around the boards. Wilkie Cook gets knocked down to the ice. Flipped up and out of the zone. Carson at his own blue line. Directed back ahead by Medvedev. No sail on that offensive rush as Carney has a pair of forecheckers to deal with. Killian Ranger getting involved, able to break things up. Carney will get a second chance at a breakout. He goes behind the net, watched closely by Schemmel. Carney for Zembricki. Now Carson connects up ahead with Rostert. Rostert sends one towards the front, saved by Yoakum, and he holds on for the faceoff to his left with 14:05 to go in the third period. Getting back to the story in Blaine, prior to the Super Tournament for the NA3HL, there was an NAPHL showcase tournament as well. And on one of the rinks, well, we mentioned how the goal usually should be on the goal line. Not on rink 2 that day, as the Zamboni stalled out behind, well, rather, really in the crease, and, well, kind of melted a hole in the ice. And so for that day, they had to play with the back of the cage on the goal line. I'm sure that was tons of fun for the goaltenders to deal with. I give credit to the facility and those working there as they were able to patch that up in time for the next day's worth of games. Yeah, it's wandering around that rink after calling a few games at the NAPHL level. You see a goal that isn't on the goal line, you're going to ask some questions. Down in the Long Beach zone, getting hit knee to knee was Byer. Play continues. Out towards center ice, here is Logan Plant. Most recent goal scorer in this game. Gives along for Doggett. Doggett knocked off of his stick. Back the other way they go. It's Tegan Byer. Byer doesn't have much in the way of options over the blue line, so he wraps one hard around the boards. Delayed call coming up. It goes against Long Beach. Here's Holton. Goes back to Loftus at the point. Loftus, a long-range shot, goes well wide. Off the bench as the extra attacker, Ethan Ranger. He'll swing it on back for Harwell. As to the bench is Yoakum. Delayed call coming up against Long Beach once they manage to touch up the puck. Schemmel gives back for Harwell. Harwell under some pressure. Manages to dipsy-doodle his way around the forecheck of Ryu Yamamoto. Now Sean Loftus up ahead for Harwell. Still on the delayed call here as Harwell tries dropping back for Schemmel. Schemmel gives back Harwell. Swung around behind the cage. Finally, Doggett will get his stick on it. And now we have the whistle. So 12:21 to go in the third period. Another interference call against Long Beach. As going to the penalty box is Hayden Doggett. And he'll sit for 2. Norwich going on to their 5th power play of the afternoon. They're 0 for 4 so far. That includes a major power play. And if the Sea Captains are going to get back into this game, a goal here is imperative. It'll be Ethan Ranger up front with Evan Tower and Drew Schemmel. Hayden and Moran at the point. Here's Hayden stepping in from the blue line. He'll send it down deep for Tower. Richards unable to clear. Hayden thought about the shot, instead gives down low Schemmel and Ranger. Ranger back for Schemmel on the give and go. Schemmel sent it wide. Ranger goes back Hayden at the point. Hayden gives back down low Ranger. Ranger tries forcing it in on the short side. Bender gets a glove on it. Some pushing and shoving afterwards. I think the referee might have taken a stick. And let's see if we're going to have a penalty here. Somebody's going to the box. Just not quite sure who. So is this going to even up, or is it going to be a 5-on-3 for the Sea Captains? That's exactly what it's going to be. Kyle Gilbert's going to sit 2 minutes for roughing. And so with 11:55 to go in regulation time, the Norwich Sea Captains will have a 5-on-3 power play for 1 minute and 35 seconds. This is the opportunity they've been waiting for. Let's see if they can take advantage. It'll be Cam Holton, Tegan Byer, and Troy Harwell up front. Brian Essing, Sean Loftus on the point. Dylan Harbor on the draw for Long Beach. Faceoff one into the corner by Byer. Given back to Loftus at the point. Loftus swings along. Essing giving along. Harwell scores! Troy Harwell! And it's 2-1. 10 seconds. That's all it took on the 5-on-3 for Harwell to find the back of the net. It ruins the shutout bid for Justin Bender. And for Harwell, it's his 6th goal of the season, his first on the man advantage. That's what the Sea Captains were looking for. And we've got ourselves a 1-goal game, and the Sea Captains remain on the power play for another minute and 50 seconds. Ethan Ranger back in the face-off circle. Won it forward for Hayden. Timmy Hayden looking for the centering feed. Knocked out of midair by Evan Tower. But Bender still was able to get a glove on it. Picked up by Medvedev. 2-on-2. Short-handed come the Sharks. Medvedev to the outside. His shot deflects wide. Tower picks up the loose puck. Nearly has it roll off his stick on goal. Giving along for Ethan Ranger at the red line. Ranger sends it softly into the Shark zone. He needed more on that. Quickly cleared on out. Moran and Plant come together. Loose puck at the red line. A pair of Sharks run into each other. That results in a turnover. Ranger can't give it along for Tower, who is alone in the slot. Tower then gets knocked down in the corner. Hayden, however, able to keep it alive at the blue line. Norwich in middle of a change. Here's Moran with a shot right into the shin pads of Plant, and Logan Plant is able to clear. Moran picks up that clearance attempt, swings it right back for Hayden. 58 seconds to go on the power play. Hayden run into the wall by Carney, still manages to hold on to possession of the puck. Now Tower in the corner. Hayden there as well. Medvedev, the lone Shark in the area. It's Schemmel. Goes back to Moran at the point. Schemmel again has a hop off of his skates, and it results in a clear as Weichel sends it all the way down. Yoakum out of his cage to play it. He'll leave it along for Tony Moran. 35 seconds to go on the power play. Moran's pass goes off the stick of Byer, swung back the other way by Dixon. Now Dylan Harbor shorthanded. Tries centering it along for Weichel. Nice defensive play by Loftus to break that up. Troy Harwell with 20 seconds to go. Harwell showing the wheels through the neutral zone, gets around a pair of forecheckers, has to deal with Fisher, sends it into an empty corner, nobody there for Norwich, however unable to clear with Spencer Dixon. It's a turnover. Here's Byer behind the net. Byer has that knocked off of his stick, out of the zone. Loftus was towards center ice, covering the player coming out of the box. Penalty has expired. We're back to five-a-side hockey with 9:43 to go in a one-goal game. Played off the boards, glove down by Zimbricki. Now Medvedev, or check that Fogelgren in front, saved by Yoakum. Puck ends up behind the cage. Comes out over the blue line. Then picked up at center ice by Spencer Dixon. Dixon right back into the offensive zone. Knocked off his stick by Cook, and then a follow-up shot by Carson gets blocked. Now Harwell over the red line towards the end of his shift. Harwell into the Long Beach zone. Harwell sent in front, deflected by Ranger. Saved by Bender as Killian Ranger looking for his first NA3HL goal. Now Zimbricki didn't get everything he wanted on that shot. Yoakum with the easy save. Faceoff will be to his left with 8:55 to go in the third period. Well, the Sea Captains, they're pressing. After giving up that goal early in the third, they have looked like a different team, and they're looking better because of it. Faceoff down in their zone, however. And on the draw, it's one back. Gilbert swings down low, Yamamoto. Yamamoto watched closely by Moran. Yamamoto then falls down over the goal line. Kinahan in to help out. Yamamoto lost a stick on the play, and so Moran, he'll send one off the glass and out of play as that puck rolls almost right past us. Lucky souvenir for one of the enterprising fans. Coming on out in, well, rather after this snowstorm. Snow stopped at around 11 o'clock or so. Certainly not the easiest of trips for the Long Beach Sharks, as the New York City metropolitan area had more than its fair share of accidents this morning. A loose puck sent down the ice. Racing after it is Aiden Bain. Bain was able to get to it second, and his centering feed gets knocked away. Now Harbor poked off at the blue line. Out of the zone by Kinahan. Jack Kinahan has his stick tied up from behind by Doggett. Yamamoto given along for Plant. Here's Logan Plant, top of the circle, gets around Loftus, lost possession of the puck. Killian Ranger in the corner. Yamamoto, and now Gilbert. Yamamoto again. Comes out high. Yamamoto tees up a shot right into the chest of Andrew Yoakum. Faceoff will remain in the Norwich zone with 7:46 to go in the third period. Norwich needs one to tie. It'll be Essing up front, along with Evan Tower and Killian Ranger. Long-range shot by Carney went wide. Ranger tries playing it off the boards for Tower. Tower gives along for Jamison Bain. Essing had trouble controlling the puck. Eventually he's able to corral it. And now Essing over the blue line sends it into the far corner. Medvedev the first one there. Killian Ranger cancels him out. Tower comes by, fell down, and the Sharks look to clear. Bernard drilled down to the ice. Solid hit by Jamison Bain. That forces a turnover. Here's Tower directing one on goal, but Justin Bender tracks it all the way, and he holds on before it becomes truly dangerous. Faceoff remains in the Long Beach zone with 7:17 to go in regulation time. Byer, Holton, and Cook up front for the Sea Captains. Wiltfong, Harbor, and Weichel. This top line for the Sharks. And again, Jack Fitzpatrick of Long Beach ejected from the game in the first period for a spearing major that was called by the linesman. The right call to make. Here's Holton. Lost possession of the puck over the blue line. Dylan Harbor will pick it up. Harbor. Let's see here. We have a whistle. We have an offsides against the Sea Captains. Long Beach lobbying for the faceoff to come all the way down the ice. The official disagrees, and, well, the official's the one with the puck, so the faceoff will be just outside the Shark zone with 6:58 to go in regulation time. Harbor and Byer on the draw. Byer wins it a little too well. It goes all the way down the ice. Nick Sachs, the first one there. Holton along the wall. Harbor goes up high on Byer. Byer had never even touched the puck. Byer goes down hard. Back up on his skates. Here's Carney from the point. That's stopped as well. Medvedev sends it wide. Wilkie Cook picks it up, goes behind the net where he picks up some support in Nick Sachs. Now Sachs tries to get the puck out of the zone. We have a whistle as the puck went off the padding. That separates the glass from the rest of the bench. 6:25 to go in the third period. Faceoff, I think, is going to stay inside the Norwich zone. Or perhaps not. They're actually going to pull it outside. So Norwich with a bit of a lucky break. Faceoff outside their end with 6:25 to go in regulation time. Off the draw. Here's Zembricki, a shot saved by Yoakum. Wiltfong goes back to the point. D-to-D, now Fisher. His shot goes wide. Takes an interesting hop off the kick plate. Loose puck picked up by Rotsart and cleared out of the zone by Hayden. No icing on the play, and so the first player to the puck is Spencer Dixon. He sends around to the near side wall. Aiden Bain gets in the way. A pair of players now in the scrum. Carson eventually comes up with it. Sends it off the stick of Kinahan. Hayden will send it right back, and that goes out of play as well. Well, twice in this shift. The puck just catching the lip of that kick plate, and that's enough to send it airborne. Faceoff's going to be out in the neutral zone. Fresh legs on the ice for both these teams in a one-goal game with 5:48 to go in the third period. It's Drew Schemmel and Logan Plant on the draw. And off the draw, won by the Sea Captains. Here's Jamison Bain sending it down deep. Dixon the first one there. Reverses along the same side wall for Yamamoto. Yamamoto gets around one, gets around two, four checkers. Now Ryu Yamamoto gains speed through center ice. Gets around number 3 in Jamison Bain. This time Bain sends Yamamoto down into the corner. Doggett on goal. Gloved by Yoakum. And the faceoff will be in the Sea Captain's end. Well, as we mentioned, lots of other games coming up later on today at 3:30 up in Attleboro, Massachusetts. The Bay State Bobcats will pay a visit to the Northeast Generals. The Generals were undefeated until heading out to Minnesota, where, well, now they have a couple losses on their record. At 5 o'clock Eastern Time, Oklahoma City's down in Louisiana. At 5:15, Austin visits El Paso. Also, later on tonight, at 7:15 Central Time, the Texas Brahmas face off against the Texas Roadrunners out in College Station. At 8 o'clock, Rochester will visit Peoria. At 8:10, St. Louis is up in Wausau, Wisconsin. Also, at 8:10 Eastern Time, Mason City drives on up to Minnesota to face off against the Wilmar Warhawks, the Granite City Lumberjacks, and the New Ulm Steel. At 9 o'clock, the Oregon Tradesmen against the Milwaukee Power, the Sheridan Hawks against the Gillette Wild, and the nightcap at 9:05 Eastern Time, Bozeman at Helena. Right here, we've got 4:50 to go in the third period. Long Beach leads it 2-1. Here's Brian Essing. He swings one far side. Falling down on the play was Richards. Cam Holton unable to get to the puck first. At the blue line, it's forced out. Here's Plant. He'll flip it back on down. We mentioned, held on to by Yoakum. Faceoff will remain in the Norwich zone. We mentioned Evan Richards. He was acquired by Long Beach earlier this year in a trade with the Yellowstone Quake. Mac Rotsart, formerly of the New Ulm Steel, also acquired earlier in the year by the Sharks. Always interesting to get players moving across divisions, and well, each division seemingly has its own little style of play. 4:20 to go here in the third. Wilkie Cook in the corner. comes together with Jake Weichel in a battle of 25s. The scrum forces its way up the wall just a bit. Moran gets involved. Meanwhile, Cook tried clearing it out far side, no sail. Now Carney at the blue line. He'll wind and fire, saved by Yoakum. Rebound flutters over the crossbar and behind the net. Now in the far side corner, it's Weichel. Killing time in the corner, 3:50 to go. D to D they are, and Carney sends one on goal. Yoakum had to track that one through traffic. Medvedev gets hit so hard he loses a puck and his stick. That glove of his ended up nearly halfway across the slot. 3.5 to go in the third. Sharks keeping the puck deep in the Norwich zone. That's all they have to do is they lead it 2-1. Jack Kinahan overskates the puck at his own blue line. Weichel can't get the puck down deep. Moran simply throws it off the glass. Carney intercepts, and he'll throw one back down into the Sea Captain zone. 3:14 to go. Loftus again sends it out towards center ice. The Sea Captains right now simply throwing the puck out of their own zone. They need to get some possession if they want to get it down into the Long Beach end. It's Ethan Ranger sending it into an empty area. Drew Schemmel there to collect. Here's Schemmel towards center ice, knife down by Bain. This rolls in on goal, and Bender will hold on. Bain then gave a little bit of a snow shower to Justin Bender. It's not exactly what you want to do down by one with 2:52 to go in the third period. I know there's gamesmanship, and I know you want to get under your opponent's skin, but trailing by one late in the third, you have to keep in mind there's a time and place for everything. Right now, the place is down in the Long Beach zone in an offensive zone faceoff coming up for the Sea Captains. It'll be Ethan Ranger on the draw. One back for Sachs. Sachs a shot, saved by Bender. Rebound didn't go very far. Now Bain from the point, knocked down in front. Puck is bouncing around on the side of the cage. Ranger has it knocked off his stick, but also knocked off was the net. Faceoff will remain in the Shark zone. 2:41 to go in the third. Norwich still has their timeout if they want to use it. And with under 3 minutes to go, we'll start keeping our eyes on Andrew Yoakum to our right for when he gets called to the bench in favor of the extra attacker. Troy Harwell on the draw of a left-handed shot. Might try and shoot it right off the draw. Anticipating that was Carson. He blocked it. Zembricki able to get around Moran. Tyler Zembricki, spinorama move. Backhand shot goes wide. Now Rostert. Knocked off of his stick. Here is Harwell. Under 2.5 to go in regulation time. Harwell sends it down deep. Hayden chasing after it. He gets there first, sends it around the boards, past the outstretched stick of Killian Ranger. Ranger manages to come up with the puck. In front, Harwell sends it over the net. Oh, out of nowhere. Hayden a wraparound attempt. That goes wide. Flipped off the glass out of the zone. This should go all the way for icing. Puck rolling on its edge. And there's the whistle with 2:01 to go. But Troy Harwell, what an opportunity. Deep in the slot. But he just sent it over the top of the net. The puck was bouncing around. Difficult to corral a puck like that. Faceoff will be to Bender's right. 2:01 to go in regulation time. Norwich needs one to tie. Carson and Harwell on the draw once again. This time Harwell tries stick handling his way around Carson. Carson again able to break things up. Hayden forces a turnover at his own blue line. Then Killian Ranger nearly turned the puck over. Here's Killian Ranger with the puck again. On goal, swallowed up by Bender, and he'll hold on with 1:44 to go. And Andrew Yoakum starting to sneak out of his crease. I imagine if the Sea Captains can gain possession off of this faceoff, we'll see Yoakum make a mad dash to the bench in favor of the extra attacker. Essing, Schemmel, Tower up front for the Sea Captains. Jamison Bain, Sean Loftus on the blue line. Here's Medvedev getting around Tower behind his own net. Medvedev wanted to go cross ice, took the safer option, and the Sharks are able to clear. Loftus picks up the puck at his own blue line. Plant steals it right back. Plant sends one through the blue paint. It goes wide. Carney stepping on in. 1:25 to go in regulation time. Here's Yamamoto. He fails on the pass back to the point. Essing can't control the outlet. At his own blue line, it's Medvedev. He'll simply play it along the wall. Loftus sends it along. Essing stripped of the puck, and now Yamamoto back the other way with under 70 seconds to go. Yamamoto in the corner. We've seen how shifty he can be before. However, this time he loses possession of the puck, and Drew Schemmel begins to break out. Under a minute to go in the third period. Joachim coming out of his cage, and the puck coming out of play as Logan Plant will go back into the penalty box. This time, however, just being a good guy and grabbing the puck for the linesman. 54.3 to go in regulation time. Joachim remains on the ice. He's between the hash marks to our right. Neither team utilizing their timeout just quite yet. It'll be Ethan Ranger and Dylan Harbour. Boy, have those two seen plenty of each other in this game. Harbour with the face-off win. He controls before dishing it along for Yamamoto. At center ice, intercepted by Kinahan. Kinahan flips one in on goal, gloved by Bender. He lets it go as Joachim goes to the bench. Extra attacker on for the Sea Captains. 42 seconds to go. Wrapped around the boards. Harwell will pick it up at center ice. Moran quickly back along for Byer. Byer had to wait for Hayden to get back on side. Byer drops off Hayden. A shot goes wide. Harwell picks up the loose puck. Swings it around behind the net for Byer. In front, Ranger, a shot saved by Bender. The clearance attempt goes off the backside of Weichel. Stays in the zone. Follow-up goes out. 20 seconds to go. Moran back to retrieve. He's got 16 seconds left. He goes hard around the boards. Harbour gets a stick on it. Not enough to keep possession. 10 seconds to go. Puck still down in the Sea Captain's end. Picked up by Harwell. He's got 6 seconds for a miracle. Troy Harwell at the blue line gives along for Hayden. A shot just goes wide, and that's how the game will end. The long